Listen up. Life's not waiting for you to get your act together. It's time to stop making excuses and start living like failure isn't even on the table. You hear me? Failure is not an option. It's not something you consider. It's not something you accept. It's not something you even think about. Every single day you wake up with a choice. You can choose to be weak, to give in to your fears, to let your doubts control you. Or you can choose to be strong, to face your fears head on, to crush your doubts under your feet. Which one are you going to be today? I'm here to tell you that you're capable of so much more than you think. Your mind is trying to trick you. It's telling you that you can't do it, that it's too hard, that you just give up. But your mind is a liar. It's holding you back from your true potential. You need to understand something right now. The path to success isn't easy. It's not supposed to be. If it were easy, everyone would be successful. But they're not. You know why? Because most people quit when things get tough. They give up when they face a little adversity. They throw in the towel when they hit their first obstacle. But not you. You're different. You're here because you want more. You're here because you're ready to push yourself beyond your limits. You're here because you're ready to become the person you were meant to be. So how do you do it? How do you learn to act as if failure is not an option? It starts with your mindset. You need to rewire your brain. You need to train yourself to see challenges as opportunities. You need to view obstacles as stepping stones. Every time you face a difficult situation, every time you're tempted to quit, I want you to ask yourself this question. What if failure wasn't an option? What would you do differently? How would you approach the problem? How would you push through the pain? When you remove failure from the equation, you open up a world of possibilities. You start to see solutions where others see dead ends. You start to find strength where others find weakness. You start to push forward where others give up. But let me be clear. This isn't about being perfect. This isn't about never making mistakes. This is about refusing to let those mistakes define you. This is about getting back up every single time you get knocked down. This is about learning from your failures and using them as fuel to propel you forward. You need to understand that success isn't handed to you on a silver platter. It's not something you can wish for and magically receive. Success is earned through blood, sweat, and tears. It's earned through countless hours of hard work when no one else is watching. It's earned through pushing yourself to the brink of exhaustion and then taking one more step. Think about the goals you've set for yourself. Think about the dreams you have. Now ask yourself, are you willing to do whatever it takes to achieve them? Are you willing to sacrifice your comfort? Are you willing to push through the pain? Are you willing to keep going when everyone else has given up? If the answer is yes, then you're on the right path. But if the answer is no, then you need to reassess your priorities. You need to decide what's truly important to you. Because let me tell you something. Achieving greatness requires sacrifice. It requires dedication. It requires a level of commitment that most people aren't willing to make. But you're not most people. You're here because you want more. You're here because you're ready to push yourself beyond your limits. You're here because you're ready to become the person you were meant to be. So how do you start? How do you begin the journey of acting as if failure is not an option? It starts with small steps. It starts with setting goals and holding yourself accountable. It starts with pushing yourself a little bit harder each day. Wake up an hour earlier. Do those extra reps at the gym. Stay late at work to finish that project. Read that book you've been putting off. Make those phone calls you've been avoiding. Take action on your dreams instead of just talking about them. Every time you do something that scares you, every time you step out of your comfort zone, you're growing. You're becoming stronger. You're becoming the person who acts as if failure is not an option. But let's be real for a second. This journey isn't going to be easy. There will be days when you want to quit. There will be times when you feel like you can't go on. There will be moments when you doubt yourself and your abilities. These are the moments that define you. These are the moments that separate the achievers from the dreamers. These are the moments when you need to dig deep and find that inner strength. When those moments come, and they will come, I want you to remember why you started. Remember the goals you set for yourself. Remember the person you want to become. Use that as your motivation to keep pushing forward. You see, acting as if failure is not an option isn't about being reckless or unrealistic. It's about having an unwavering belief in yourself and your abilities. It's about having the mental toughness to push through any obstacle that comes your way. Think about the most successful people in the world. Do you think they got where they are by giving up at the first sign of trouble? Do you think they achieved their dreams by accepting failure as an option? Hell no. They got there by refusing to quit. They got there by pushing through the pain. They got there by acting as if failure was not an option. You have that same potential within you. You have the ability to achieve greatness. But it's not going to happen by itself. You need to take action. You need to make it happen. Every morning when you wake up, I want you to look in the mirror and say to yourself, failure is not an option. Say it with conviction. Say it like you mean it. Because if you truly believe it, if you truly live it, there's nothing you can't achieve. But words alone aren't enough. You need to back them up with action. You need to live every day as if failure is not an option. That means giving 100 effort in everything you do. That means pushing yourself to your limits and then pushing a little bit. When you're at the gym and you think you can't do another rep, do 5 more. When you're working on a project and you feel like giving up, work for another hour. When you're running and your legs are screaming at you to stop, run another mile. This is how you build mental toughness. This is how you develop the mindset that failure is not an option. You do it by constantly pushing yourself beyond what you think you're capable of. And here's the thing. The more you push yourself, the more you'll realize that your limits aren't fixed. They're not set in stone. They're just temporary barriers that you can break through with enough determination and hard work. But it's not just about physical challenges. This mindset applies to every aspect of your life, your career, your relationships, your personal growth. In every area, you need to act as if failure is not an option. If you're starting a business, don't go into it thinking, well, if it doesn't work out, I can always go back to my old job. No, go into it with the mindset that failure is not an option, that you'll do whatever it takes to make it successful. If you're working on improving your relationships, don't approach it with a half-hearted attitude. Approach it as if failure is not an option. As if you do whatever it takes to make those relationships stronger and more meaningful. If you're trying to break a bad habit or develop a new skill, don't give yourself an easy out. Don't say, I'll try it for a while, see how it goes. No, commit to it fully. Act as if failure is not an option. This mindset shift will change your life. It will transform the way you approach challenges. It will give you the strength to push through when things get tough. It will give you the resilience to bounce back from setbacks. But let me be clear. This doesn't mean you won't face failures along the way. You will. Everyone does. But when you act as if failure is not an option, you don't let those failures stop you. You use them as stepping stones. You learn from them. You grow from them. And you keep pushing forward. Think about it this way. Every time you fail, you're one step closer to success. Every time you fall, you learn how to get back up stronger. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity to prove to yourself just how tough you really are. So to embrace the challenges, welcome the obstacles, seek out the difficult paths. Because it's through these experiences that you'll grow. It's through these experiences that you'll develop the mental toughness to act as if failure is not an option. And here's the beautiful thing. The more you live this way, the more it becomes second nature. The more you push yourself, the more you realize what you're truly capable of. The more you refuse to accept failure as an option, the more success you'll achieve. But it all starts with a decision. A decision to stop making excuses. A decision to stop settling for mediocrity. A decision to start living as if failure is not an option. So I ask you, are you ready to make that decision? Are you ready to push yourself beyond your limits? Are you ready to become the person you were meant to be? Because let me tell you something. The world doesn't owe you anything. Success isn't going to come knocking on your door. You need to go out there and take it. You need to earn it. You need to fight for it with everything you got. And when you do, when you start living as if failure is not an option, you'll be amazed at what you can achieve. You'll break through barriers you never thought possible. You'll accomplish goals you once thought were out of reach. You'll become a version of yourself that you never imagined possible. But it all starts with you. It all starts with your mindset. It all starts with your commitment to act as if failure is not an option. So what are you waiting for? The time for excuses is over. The time for half-hearted efforts is done. It's time to step up. It's time to push yourself. It's time to become the person you were meant to be. Remember, every day you wake up, you have a choice. You can choose to be average, to accept mediocrity, to let your fears control you. Or you can choose to be great, to push beyond your limits, to act as if failure is not an option. Which one are you going to choose? Are you going to settle for less than you're capable of? Or are you going to push yourself to greatness? I want you to make a commitment right now. A commitment to yourself. A commitment to your dreams. A commitment to living every single day as if failure is not an option. Say it out loud. Failure is not an option. Say it again. Failure is not an option. Now go out there and live it. Prove it to yourself. Prove it to the world. Because when you truly believe that failure is not an option, when you live that belief every single day, there's nothing you can't achieve. You'll become unstoppable. You'll become unbreakable. You'll become the best version of yourself. So take that first step. Make that commitment. Start living as if failure is not an option. And watch as your life transforms before your eyes. Remember, it's not going to be easy. There will be days when you want to quit. There will be times when you doubt yourself. But those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments when you need to dig deep and remind yourself that failure is not an option. Every time you face a challenge, every time you're tempted to give up, I want you to ask yourself, what would I do if failure wasn't an option? And then do that. Take that action. Make that decision. Push through that pain. Because here's the truth. The person you become in the process of refusing to accept failure is far more valuable than any goal you achieve. The mental toughness you develop, the resilience you build, the strength you gain, these are the real rewards. So embrace the struggle, welcome the pain, seek out the challenges, because it's through these experiences that you'll grow. It's through these experiences that you'll become the person who acts as if failure is not an option. And as you continue on this journey, as you push yourself further than you ever thought possible, you'll start to realize something. You'll start to see that the limits you once believed in were just illusions. You'll start to understand that you're capable of so much more than you ever imagined. This is the power of acting as if failure is not an option. It doesn't just change your actions, it changes your entire perception of what's possible. It expands your horizons. It opens up a world of opportunities that you never knew existed. So I challenge you to live every day as if failure is not an option. I challenge you to push yourself beyond your limits. I challenge you to become the best version of yourself. Because when you truly commit to this mindset, you'll be unstoppable. You'll achieve things you never thought possible. You'll impact lives in ways you never imagined. You'll become the person you were always meant to be. Remember, greatness is not reserved for a select few. It's available to anyone who's willing to work for it. Anyone who's willing to push themselves. Anyone who's willing to act as if failure is not an option. So are you ready? Are you ready to step up? Are you ready to push yourself? Are you ready to live as if failure is not an option? The choice is yours. The opportunity is here. The time is now. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now. Start today. Start living as if failure is not an option. Because when you do, when you truly embrace this mindset, you'll be amazed at what you can achieve. You'll break through barriers. You'll shatter limitations. You'll achieve the impossible. So go out there and make it happen. Live every day as if failure is not an option. Push yourself beyond your limits. Become the person you were meant to be. Because you've got greatness within you. It's time to let it out. It's time to show the world what you're truly capable of. Remember, failure is not an option. It's not in your vocabulary. It's not in your mindset. It's not in your future. So go out there and make your dreams a reality. The world is waiting for you. It's time to show them what you're made of. Now get after it